Weak and insecure men are the ones who start and seek confrontation. There are many men out there that are acting like they are the toughest human beings on the planet, and they're insecure. They're very insecure, so they seek that confrontation. The strongest men, the most powerful men, and the most fulfilled and confident and complete men do not seek to confront weak men. They understand the game of being a strong and confident and capable man, but they do not seek the confrontation. When I was growing up, I was a very small and fragile boy, right? And if you know my story, when I was 12, 13, 14 years old in those years, my dad was very, very chaotic and, doing drugs and alcohol and just partying like crazy. And I basically didn't have a father figure, a father, to help guide me in certain areas. And my brother, who was older than me, we were moving around a lot at this time. And my brother, who basically stepped in and kind of took over that role, he had a lot of friends that were very big and strong guys, and I was kind of protected by them. And I remember one guy in particular, I won't say his name because they maybe got into some things that weren't necessarily always legal, right? And these guys were very big and tough and strong, and I remember this guy in particular was the most respected, most admired, and he could definitely have beat up pretty much most people, right? I think he was like 6'8", really big guy. And I remember specifically, we were at a party one time, and I was like 13 years old, 14 years old, and these guys were much older than me, maybe 16, 17, 18 years old. I was at a high school party, and at this time, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do any of that stuff. And I remember one of the guys at the party came up to me and was like, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you smoking? Why are you being this like square, right? And the guy who was my brother's friend came up, and they were protective of me and basically stood up for me. And the guy kind of was like talking back to my brother's friend and trying to instigate a fight. And even though my brother's friend could have easily smashed this guy, in a heartbeat, he was very calm. He was very, stoic in a way, right? He was very understanding of the possibility of what could happen no matter who the guy was, right? And he calmed the situation down. And I remember being very greatly admiring of that quality, because I asked him, I was like, why didn't you just like beat that guy up, right? And he basically said, Matt, like, I've been in many confrontations, many fights, and you never know where that situation can be. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where somebody might feel so insignificant, so weak, that they pull a gun, pull a knife, and that's the end of the game, right? You no longer get to play. So he has obviously been in many fights and many confrontations, and he was prepared to fight if necessary, but he also knew the consequences of what that actually meant. And he, more than most people would, even though you would think like, oh, this is this big tough guy, he's fighting all the time, he's trying to have this persona of always fighting. No, he was respected because he always tried to de-escalate the situation, not to start confrontations. That's the difference between a really truly confident and secure man. A secure man knows the consequences of a truly dangerous confrontation. They do not seek confrontation. They seek to understand the situation, evaluate where they are, what is the next step, can it be de-escalated? If it can, great, let's do that. Or do we just move away from the situation? Situational awareness comes from being in situations that can end badly, right? He has seen many things. I have seen many things. And I know that the possibility of your life ending in a moment can happen like that. So don't pretend to be something you are not, because it is out of insecurity. You want to be a capable man. A capable man understands and evaluates all of these scenarios and puts them in the best possible scenario. And most of the time, it is not confrontation. Most of the time, it is avoiding the confrontation at all possible costs, because confrontation can end very badly, and you do not want to be the one to instigate a confrontation that for no reason, right? You want to be capable enough to evaluate the situation. In the situation, if it calls for it, yes, you want to be a capable man, but you do not want to be the person who is always seeking confrontation. Those people are liabilities. You will be a liability if you start confrontations. I do not want to be around people who are so insignificant that they need to feel significant by putting other people down. You do not want to be that type of person. You will become a liability for other people. All right? You want to be a capable man, and a capable man is understanding and evaluating every situation that you are in. How do you handle it with the least amount of damage, right? That is what a valuable and capable man is. It is not somebody that is always fighting and always, trying to be the toughest guy in the room. The toughest guy in the room, if they truly are the toughest guy in the room, are usually the calmest, the quietest, and because they understand what consequences of these type of situations can occur, and they evaluate. If you do not evaluate the situation, you may be that person that ends up not in a good place, right? So do not be the person going out seeking confrontation. You want to be a capable man, evaluate the situation, and then continue to be a capable man. Okay? Hopefully this was helpful. That guy was very admirable to me, so I learned a lot from him. I used to always want to be the toughest guy, but the toughest guy is not what you think. So go out there, become capable, seek the best possible scenario without harm, and like, comment, subscribe, and follow me over on Instagram if you're interested. So hopefully this was an interesting story. It's important to know, because your life is depending upon it. So peace, and I'll talk to you soon.